never believed in ghosts. Not really. People always tell scary stories, but they never happen in real life, right? That's what I thought. Until last night. It started like any other night. I was home alone. My parents had gone out for the weekend, and I was enjoying the rare silence. No one asking me to do chores, no noise, just me, my phone, and a big bowl of chips. At around midnight, the power went out. Not a flicker. Complete darkness. My phone screen became the only source of light, casting weird shadows on the walls. I sighed, thinking it was a normal power cut. But then, I heard it. A soft knock. At first, I thought it was my imagination, maybe a tree branch hitting the window. But then, it happened again. Knock, knock, and this time it wasn't coming from the window. It was coming from inside the house. I froze. My heart pounded. I wasn't expecting anyone. The doors were locked. I was completely alone. Or at least, I thought I was. I held my breath, listening. Silence. Maybe I was just paranoid. Maybe it was the fridge making weird noises like it sometimes did. I shook my head and forced myself to relax. "Get a grip," I whispered. But just as I was about to go back to my phone, the knock came again. Closer. Something was wrong. I could feel it. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam shook slightly in my trembling hands as I aimed it toward the hallway. Nothing. I let out a nervous laugh. "See? Just your imagination." But as I turned back toward my bed, I saw it. A shadow moved across the hallway. Not a trick of the light. Something, or someone, was there. My breath hitched. My whole body went cold. I pointed my flashlight toward the hallway again. Empty. But then, my bedroom door creaked open. I swear I couldn't breathe. My legs refused to move. Every muscle in my body screamed at me to run, but I was frozen. Then I heard it. A whisper. "You finally see me." I don't know how, but I moved. I ran, stumbling out of my room, my heart pounding so loudly I could barely think. My first instinct was to get out of the house. But when I reached the front door, I stopped. It was wide open. I knew for a fact I had locked it. The night air felt wrong. Too still, too quiet. Not even the crickets were chirping. That's when my phone vibrated in my hand. A text message. From an unknown number. It said one word. Run. I dropped the phone. My breathing was ragged. My chest felt tight. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't a bad dream. And then, my phone rang. The same unknown number. I didn't want to answer. I didn't even want to touch it. But something inside me, maybe curiosity, maybe pure fear, forced my hand. I slowly lifted the phone to my ear and whispered, "Who is this?" Silence. And then, my own voice answered, "I'm already inside." My blood turned to ice. My body finally listened. I ran. Out the door, down the street, not stopping until I reached my neighbor's house. I pounded on their door like a madman. When they finally answered, I could barely speak. My neighbor, an old man who had lived next door for years, frowned at me. "What's wrong, kid?" I turned back toward my house, expecting to see something. A shadow in the window, a figure at the door. But there was nothing. Just my house, dark, silent. I felt stupid, like maybe I really had imagined it. But then, my neighbor's face changed. His expression twisted into something almost afraid. "You saw it, didn't you?" he whispered. I stared at him. "Saw what?" He didn't answer. Just shook his head. "You should stay here tonight." I didn't argue. The next morning, I went back to my house. Everything looked normal. The front door was shut. My phone lay on the ground where I had dropped it. I picked it up. No messages, no missed calls. It was like nothing ever happened. But when I checked my call history, the unknown number was still there. I wanted to believe it was a bad dream. But then, something made my stomach drop. The front door wasn't locked. I knew for sure that I had locked it before leaving. And when I stepped inside, the air felt different. I tried to shake the feeling off, telling myself I was just paranoid. But then I noticed something that made my skin crawl. My bedroom door. It was open. And on my bed, there was a single note. A small, crumpled piece of paper. I picked it up with shaky fingers. There was only one sentence written on it. "You can't run forever." My heart pounded in my ears. I felt watched, like something was standing just behind me, just out of sight. I turned slowly, expecting to see a shadow, a face, something. But the room was empty. Then my phone buzzed again. Another text. "See you tonight." I ran out of that house and never looked back. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it wanted. But one thing is certain. It's still out there. And maybe it's watching you too. Some stories are just stories. But some make you question everything. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Share it with your friends. Let them decide if they believe it or not. And if you love horror stories like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Because next time, it could happen to you.